This is going to be a short video, hopefully. I just got a rant because I'm not one to look for argument or conflict. In fact, I tend to just choose my peace and not battles. But I ran over to Sprouts here in Clearwater because I needed to pick up some things. And in the past, I haven't had any problems. Now, here's the thing. Medically, you do not have to explain your disability, your reason for not being able to wear a mask. You should not be forced to put on something that causes you PTSD, physical health issues, anything that is against you, putting you at risk for the sake of others to feel protected is bullshit. I'm just calling it, and I'm over it. And you know, this is like borderline lawsuit. And I just want for you people out there to remember that this is a form of discrimination. You're not putting on a face covering, so therefore you're being discriminated against. And it's policy. It's not a law. It's not about legality here, people. This is about complicit compliancy. This is about causing divisiveness between us. I don't speak up very much about stuff, okay? But I think it's really important that people wake the fuck up to the shit that they're pulling right now. Because this is about your rights. And if you don't think it is, do your due diligence, do your research. I was in the Air Force for over 10 years. I worked in government service. I've been behind the scenes. And if you don't think they do this to us, try going into a military medical facility. And imagine those of us who've been vaccinated having no idea what we've had injected into us. Having all sorts of, oh, here, take this drug, take that drug. I had a TB test years ago. And as a result of the TB test, supposedly showing kind of positive, but not really. They weren't sure, so they did lung x-rays. And they were clear. I was perfectly fine. And then on top of that, I had to go on INH, which is a form of radiation, which I can tell you right now, I know it fucked up my body. Now, proving it is always another story. And when you're in the VA system as it is, it's hard enough to get your benefits because they deny you. And it's an old saying my grandfather used to say, it's deny you till you die. It's all about us being guinea pigs. Do you know they've been trying to take... If you do your research, you'll find that this isn't the first time they've tried to pull this kind of stuff with a pandemic. And in fact, in the past, there were bigger situations that didn't even warrant this kind of control, this kind of outbreak, this you must wear a mask. It's a mandate. They're lying about the numbers as it is. They're lying. They've told doctors not to report normal cases, to put everything down as CV. I'm just saying, if you do your diligence, you look and you do your research. Fear is the virus, people. Fear. The more they get you emotionally caught up in fear, you weaken your immune system. Build up your immune system. Think about your body first. Don't tell other people they need to do it for your safety, your feeling safe and secure. That is such a false sense of security and a false sense that somebody else puts you at risk. If you're not taking care of your body to begin with, you need to be looking at your own behavior. We are not victims unless we choose to be. The only victim we are of our own minds and circumstances. We are better than this. We don't deserve to be walking around like a freaking bunch of lemmings. I'm not one to go with the crowd. I'm one who goes against it. And you know why? Because I know I didn't come here to live with a freaking mask on my face. Life is about joy. I choose joy. I choose peace. I don't choose this kind of bullshit. If I want to go buy something, someone is borderline on a discrimination lawsuit. Any of you out there that's a lawyer, share this. Share this. I want people to tag lawyers in this. Real lawyers know the truth. that they can't legally force you to wear a mask. Yes, you can boycott, you can stay away from these establishments. These big businesses are the ones that are making money hand over fist, while the local businesses aren't considered essential, and they're the ones going out of business. I'm sorry, is it worth it for people to go into bankruptcy, for people to lose their livelihoods, for people to be suffering even more than they already were? People have to make money. You know, there was a time when it could only be just one income families. We are now in a time where did inflation jump, where you have to have two parents, two people out working and your children always being like latchkey kids? I'm so not about what's going on in the world today. And I've been watching it for a long time. This has been a long, drawn-out plan. And if you don't wake up and you recognize that this is about your rights, your constitutional rights, you're giving them up. If you keep on complying and thinking, oh, this will just go away, you are sadly mistaken. That's all I got to say about that. If you are unwilling to stand up for what is right, for fear, out of safety, the fear that somebody else is going to make you sick, that's bullshit. That ain't happening. This is not about safety, people. And you know what? When people try to say it's about politics, they're using politics in some ways, but it isn't even about politics. This just goes deeper, people. Look up New World Order. Look up NWO. Look up all of this one world currency, all this stuff. Imagine if we did go to digital currency. I'm really skeptical about it, people, because then you can no longer... Think about this. Couple dollars here, couple dollars there. You know when you were a kid and your grandparents would give you some actual cash? That was a nice thing. Digital currency, it sounds good because everything's traced, but it doesn't sound good because then everything's traced. And then if you're a bad person, you get these vaccines and you're in the social system. The vaccine, they can turn around and they can determine whether or not you get your money for being a good boy or girl. Follow the rules. If you follow the rules, you get some money. This goes deeper. I mean, I can't even talk about all of this. And I know I can't even talk about most of this. As it is, I've already noticed the numbers on Facebook and Instagram. And, you know, I've been shadow banned for a while. I mean, my other account was disabled and it wasn't even due to all this. You know, we got bots left and right on Facebook. Oh, yeah, this was all about your privacy when they turned around and put him up on stage in Congress. Are you kidding me? They're all colluding. They're all working together. Wake up. Open your eyes. Stop. Don't follow the herd. This is all about creating a herd. And I don't go with herd mentality. I'm sorry. I think outside the box because the box does not define me. I want people out there to consider that. Do you fall within the confines of a little box? Do you like labels? Do you like feeling safe because somebody told you were safe because someone's wearing a mask or keeps 6 feet distance? You are being forced to police one another. It's no different than the Nazis in Germany. How do you think that turned out? Let's see. Look back in history. You can't even talk about it exactly, Wendy. I'm over that. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it because I'm sick of sitting back and watching. I care, or I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't even be doing this video right now. Fuck Sprouts. Yeah, and I'm F-bombing too, so that tells you I'm really upset. All big businesses are making so much money off of us. Amazon. Hello. Whole Foods. Walmart. Sprouts. How do you think people feel being called non-essential? It's like saying you don't matter. How do you think some of us feel putting a mask on when we go into a moment of anxiety or can't breathe, which it is about weakening your immune system and seeing who they can actually control? Because believe it or not, the 6 feet is more about surveillance. Now they can actually look at you and say, oh, see, we know exactly who's in the system. We know who's going to comply. We know how many followers we have. Do you know that's what this really is about? Determining who they have to worry about and who they don't. Because if they can identify all of their sheep with the masks on, then they don't have to worry because they'll know their numbers. If they could have pulled this off a long time ago, they would have done it. Yeah, put on the mask, they said. Put on the mask. It's like the old proverb. They came for this group and nobody spoke up. And then they came for that group and nobody spoke up. I didn't speak up. And then they came for me and nobody else was around to speak up for me. I'm here to speak up for y'all. I am all about rights. This has nothing to do with politics. This goes deeper than politics, although it appears, because that's how much stuff is going on out there. It's called the Wizard of Oz, people. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, because there's more stuff going on behind the curtain. They want you to know. Let's talk about child trafficking, people. Do you know that that is the biggest business in this country, and that America is known for more children going missing? That really hits me in the heart really fucking hard. Fuck the masks. If children are missing and they don't want you to know that there are pedophiles up in the top ranks, the elites, I'm just telling you right now, you think it's all about safety in a fucking mask? Think about the children. It's always ever been about the children. Vaccinate them early, they die, we can control them. Change their gender, completely confuse them, mind fuck them in all sorts of ways. They're raping us. They've been raping our children. Some of us were children when it happened. I don't think there's a one of us who hasn't been affected by this stuff. Each one of us has been disempowered, and it starts down in the root chakra. It starts with sexuality, being told we're bad and icky, and sex is taboo. It is for children when you're a child. Nobody should be harming or trying to put a child in those situations. But when you're a child and you've been manipulated, you've been sexually abused and molested, you've been disempowered. And I'm here to tell you, you got to take care. You've got to take your power back. The pedophilia, all those rings, all the stuff in Hollywood, open your fucking eyes. They show us in movies exactly what they're up to. Because guess what? They have to be transparent. They have to be. It's right in front of your eyes, so you're being desensitized to accept it when it does happen in front of your face. You won't notice it because you've been desensitized. Why do you think victim crimes and all these movies have so much violence in the very beginning of the films? To desensitize you so you don't see it as bad. You just pretty much accept it and go along to get along. God forbid that you speak up for others or yourself. This is about compliancy. This is about shutting down your voice. And there's a lot of people, this doesn't only just shut the voice down, but makes them feel that much less significant. And you matter, and you're worth it, and you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself with the fucking mask on your face. All that is about is lies. How much more are you going to buy into them? How much more until you tap into your heart and soul? Because when you feel exhausted and drained, it's because you're not in alignment with your heart and soul. Your soul is out of alignment when you don't feel right about the stuff that's going on. And when you don't speak up, you also are depleting your energy. And I don't mean you have to go out and do, like something crazy. I mean, we need to be having these conversations. We shouldn't feel like we can't talk about this. Let's get real. Let's have these conversations because there's no more. Don't shut it down. The more people who talk about this are willing to walk away, because I just did. I didn't spend all my time in the Air Force seeing what I saw to turn around and act like another sheep, to go along to get along. I'm sorry. I am a leader, and I am here to show you the way through my example. I am here for the children because I wanted that when I was a child, and my sisters needed that. I know how bad it is when people who sell child pornography go to jail and get out. They got buddies. They got high up buddies, people. All this stuff, you got families out there having children specifically to sell into pedophilia. Because this stuff is real. Adrenochrome, satanic rituals. This stuff is fucking sick shit. And if it makes you sick, you need to be supporting people who are doing the right thing. We are not here to be controlled. Do you realize how special we are as humans? And when I say special, I mean like humans have souls. You have free will. At any time, you can walk away. You can say, I'm a sovereign being. We've been born into a system of slavery. Even if you don't think you're enslaved, it's just another form of it. Don't buy into the BLM, the bullshit. You go ahead and do the research. Go to the Black Lives Matter website to donate money, and you'll notice it goes to the Democratic Party, which is just a cover. It's all covers. All the money that we spend on war, just to cover. All the money that is for fighting drugs, it's for money. It's money that goes behind the scenes. They launder money through all of these different things that we thought we needed to support. And especially with the people who supposedly are there for the children are the worst. Look at how many people just got arrested at Disney. There's number one right there. Look at what happened over the UN. Yep. It's all good, right? I don't think so. Let the truth come out. Be willing to do the research. Be willing to look it up. Don't deny it. Don't just say, oh, they wouldn't do that to us. I'm here to tell you, hell yeah, they are. I've seen the documentation. It's confidential. You're not meant to see it, but it explicitly says that they can spy on us Americans. They've been doing it for years. Hello, wake up. It doesn't take a rocket science to see this is real. Look at the numbers. Look at the lies. Follow the money trail. Follow the money trail. All I can say is I love you, and I might not even know you. This is time for people to step back into their personal power. It's bigger than you know. Bigger. And when they do bring in the aliens, it's all going to be a show to show you, look, we protected you. We created something to make you fear again so that you could feel protected. Yeah, they want to get rid of the money so they can control us more. They don't recognize that some of us are smart enough to barter, to create communities, to come together. That's what this is about. That's why I'm all about bringing the unity back in a community. And if you know, if you're in the Clearwater area, I have property and I need help. I need help. I need people who are good at renovating, who can do work on the yard, create permaculture, a little food utopia in the area. I'm sure I could feed quite a few people in that property, as well as support others in healing. Because there's a lot of people out here that still need healing through what they've been through. Yeah, I've actually met some people, Wendy, regarding being born into satanic cults. And it's disgusting shit. It's some sick, dark energy. The only way for us to heal, though, is to also confront our own dark shit, our own shadow, to embrace it, not to deny it. It exists in all of us. You know, if you can think it up, then it exists in the world. You have to know that it doesn't make you less of a person if you think about something or you've been through something. Because when you know better, you can do better. And it's in those contrasts of seeing your dark that you can return to your light, that you can illuminate even brighter. That dark is a part of you no matter what it is. It's part of your gift. It's part of your purpose in this life. Whatever you feel doesn't resonate with you, you can let it go. But don't deny it ever served a purpose in your life, because it's what helped you to grow and to be where you're at in the life today that you're living. I had no intentions of coming on here live today. I'm already trying to do stuff. I'm feeling frazzled because I need help. I need help going through and organizing and getting rid of things that no longer serve me, to bring in money to be able to renovate the house. I need to replace windows. I need to redo the back building. And I'm just in a place where I'm all about community. And I used to always think I need to do it myself. But it really boils down to, you can do it all, but you don't need to. And I believe in the power of community. I truly do. And I'm here to serve. And those of you know me, I serve in so many ways that people can't even imagine or understand. I really want to see the world healed. The only way we're going to heal is when we finally are open and willing to see the shit that's been hiding below the surface in ourselves and around us. Until you heal yourself, you will not see an outside healed world. Some of us incarnated and were born into this life specifically because we knew we were ushering in a new world, not NWO, but our own creation, our own way of returning to source, returning to self. Plant medicine has been so popular. You know why? Because Mother Earth is saying, we work together. It is not a separate entity. She nourishes us, we nourish her. Yeah, the earth could probably survive without us on it. But to be totally honest with you, from my research, what I've learned about the earth is that it's a special planet, that we humans are special, that yes, there are extraterrestrials that would die to be us and are trying to control us, want our souls literally. Like, there is no coincidence. If you're even religious, there are teachings across the board that talk about all similar themes. And one of them is, the only way someone can have your soul is if you willingly give it to them. All you have to do is say no. No, and learn to say no, and learn to discern what is in alignment with your soul, what feels right, not what you think is good, because that'll trip you up every single time. There's a whole lot of stuff we can come together and talk about. I can talk about so much more. I went down the rabbit hole so many years ago. I had no intention of it. I had no idea this year was going to be like it was. I was actually in the process of trying to coordinate my Italy retreat. And I was getting sabotaged on the back end too. I'll just say that. Because my ex-partner didn't believe or see my vision. In fact, he worked against it because it wasn't aligned with his. Everything had to be about him. But I realized, you know what? I could see through all of that. I can see through a lot of things. And I'm at a point right now where it's not about being liked, right, Cheryl Ann? Sometimes doing the right thing will lose you the people out of your life that are not meant to be there. My biggest thing right now, keep your inner circle tight, make it sacred, support each other, know who you can trust. First off, learn to trust yourself. That's the most important trust you'll ever gain, is the trust you have within yourself. Because when it boils down to it, you cannot trust another person without the trust of yourself. Because you're the one who has to trust your own decision and whether or not someone is trustworthy. And when someone shows you how they behave, trust them. You can still love them. You can still keep them at a distance. But maybe they're no longer meant to be in your life. Maybe they're meant to go. Lori, I'm boycotting Sprouts because I was told I couldn't enter without a mask. And that's borderline medical discrimination. Like, if you are unable to wear a mask, you should not be told that's the only way you're going to be served or get service. That in itself is showing it's about compliancy. And it's not legal. It's discrimination. It is discrimination flat out, and it is borderline legal. And like I said, if anybody knows any lawyers, or if you're a lawyer, I want you to also chime in below. You know, there's a lot of people who have PTSD, have anxiety, have breathing issues, have other issues. And wearing a mask, especially PTSD, some of us, and if you've ever been strangled or raped or anything of that nature, putting a mask on brings you right back to that same scenario. It causes, it's crazy stuff. It's some crazy stuff. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Putting a mask on just brings you back to the trauma. You relive it. And there's nothing better than to get people in their trauma zones to disempower them even more, right? Think about that. It's psychological. It's called psyops, people. Psychological warfare. The propaganda and the mental games that they've been playing, if you're buying into it, you might want to stop and take the red pill now. Because the truth is, they've been fucking with your head for years. Like I said, movies, they desensitize you with what they've been putting out there. They're getting you ready. All of it's to prepare you. Somebody recently was talking about the Hunger Games. Some sick stuff out there. I mean, what they're doing with children even. Let me just add this. People have child hunting parties. What do you think Epstein's Island was all about? They called it Lolita Island. Oh, and Joe Biden has property right next door. I'm sorry. Can we just start like holding the people accountable? Pizzagate's real. I mean, seriously, let's listen to the media that told us, oh, you're not allowed to know what's on in their emails. They're government appointed officials. If it's on a government network, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Let's talk about it. Let's hold these fuckers accountable. I'm sorry, but they are. They've been fucking us. They're all special because they have people protecting them. And y'all are still following them and acting like they're good people. And you've seen the corruption. You've seen it. I'm sorry. I'm so over it. Hillary's an evil fucker. When I was in the Air Force, I used to hear stories about her. Her and Bill didn't even share rooms. I had an Italian friend that told me all about Bill. He liked his cocaine and his young girls. Just saying. And FYI, FYI, yes, Obama. We're not going to even talk about that one. I'm sure that bring up a whole other conversation. But there's a whole network of Masonry. And I did some research about the Boule, which is basically the Black Freemasons. They encourage homosexuality, by the way, as an initiation. And they are also called the house niggas. That's sick shit. Do your research and look it up. What does that mean? If you remember in history when they talk about slavery, there was always what they called the house nigger or the house boy. That's being the nice term. I don't like the terminology whatsoever, so please don't hold that against me. But the term was meant, it was a title given to whoever would watch and tattle, who would call out any other of the slaves of the black people to their master. They were the snitch, essentially. What do you think the Boulets are? No different. And they also have been disempowered just to keep those positions to make them look like good people. A lot of these people are people in higher ups, like Obama. I could go on with lists. I don't think it's necessary. Do your research. Don't trust me. Don't believe me. The truth is out there. You can go look. You can go look on the internet. You can go to the CDC website and see that their numbers were off. I mean, at least they're admitting it now. Like when it really boils down to it, there's a lot of lies sprinkled with truths and a lot of truths sprinkled with lies. Why? To keep you confused, to keep people pitted against each other about the semantics of what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's false. Oh yeah, and we can talk about cloning too, right? Gitmo? Guantanamo Bay? Yeah, I do believe there's stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about regarding tribunals and trials. And let us go back. Okay, so people don't even realize we just had our third execution. We haven't had executions in a long time. We just had our third execution. That gives me chills just talking about it. But the media is not talking about that. They're only pushing the narrative still to keep you all caught up in the CV stuff. Really? Stop watching the news. It's all propaganda. Do your research. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you too. I even know more stuff that I just sense and I know intuitively on another level. But you know what? I'm not here to try to prove a point, and I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'd rather be wrong. I really would like to be wrong. How can we stop this? Stop buying into these businesses. Start growing food for us. I'm about solutions. That's why I said if you're in If you're, yeah, I haven't had a TV in years, Donna. If you're in the Florida area, you're in Clearwater, Florida, near me, and you want to help me get the food forest growing in my backyard, you want to help me replace some windows, do some work around the house. If you have resources, if you have talents and abilities, I need you. That's pretty much my cry. Because when we come together, I'm here to serve and support and help. You know, I hold space, I teach yoga. You know, that's like that's the low end of what I do. That's the low end. I know, I can't watch the news. I need to grow fruit trees. I want to put some greens and all. It's rainy season here in Florida. We're just starting to get. Yeah, we need to expand. We need to come together more. No more bickering. No more pointing fingers. No calling each other out and policing one another. That's not why I'm here. In fact, honestly, I want people to be able to come together and have really cool conversations. The kind of conversations I enjoy are around like let's create some really cool food. You know, if you've been watching me for years, I love to be in my kitchen. Let's dance. Let's hold drum circles. Let's do healing ceremonies. I am all about bringing people together for the right reasons. We don't need to go out and demonstrate in certain places. There is a role everybody has to play in this world. In my personal case, I don't feel called to go out and picket and riot or whatever the hell that stuff. I feel like it's about putting in the work, doing the actual work. You know, renovating spaces where we can grow. I own my property. I own my house, so I don't have to worry about a mortgage. But just wait. That'll be one of the things they start doing. They're already doing it. My sister and I were talking about, I think it's in Australia. They're already starting to seize people's homes and properties. I said, yeah, because those people probably have mortgages, because the banks are corrupt and they're Weasley little fuckers. They're all about take. The dollar's not backed by gold. It hasn't been for years. In fact, it's all digital anyway, most of it. I am so grateful for each and every one of you that sat and just listened to me go off on that rant. I'm sure I could have probably gone even deeper. I can't believe I just said everything that I just said right now. But I've been kind of inspired and kind of poked and provoked a lot lately. In a good way. Not holding back. Not holding back. But I need help. I definitely want to do podcasts because I have a whole lot of people, super cool people that I want to share with y'all. Conversations, podcasts that are really meaningful. Like, how do we heal the masculine and the feminine within ourselves? You know, men, women, masculine, feminine. If you identify with another gender, great. I'm sorry if I don't know all of the special politically correct terms. And it takes a long time for people to catch on. So please don't be offended if someone doesn't call you by whatever your preference is right away. You got to remember, most of us come from a time where it was about gender. Male, female. And you know what? Yes, there should be a third gender. Hermaphrodite. Male and female parts. Because from my understanding, my grandmother was a nurse. She said that hermaphrodites were born more times than you would ever imagine. And the doctors chose what sex they were going to be. Gender. Because when we were messed up with the whole change in the gender thing, that's another planting that I can't even go into right now. They've been fucking with us through our food and vaccines and all that stuff for years. The reason they do it is so they can really, literally, mess you up in the head. So people are trying to find their identity, which gives significance. Why not just identify as a human and accept yourself where you're at? But see, that's the thing. It's putting everybody in a victim role where they need to have others validate them. When you take back your power, you don't need anybody to prove anything to you, and you don't have anything to prove to anybody else. The truth of the matter is, we are all worthy. Nobody is better or worse than another. We deserve love. We deserve to receive it. We deserve to give it. We need to come back together to the simple things in life. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there with that conversation because that's deep. My sister's been fighting the whole vaccine thing up in New York since last year when they took away special needs for my niece and nephew. As a result, they were denied their needs. FYI, she pays taxes. taxes are for those special needs. So constitutionally, they were not providing them, and they are they're in a legal bind right there, because they didn't think they were going to get found out, but they weren't supposed to take those services away from them, and they did. There's a lot of legal action that should be taken right now. If you get discriminated against for not wearing a mask by a business, they are borderline, they are risking legal action against them. They are. But it takes a lawyer who's willing to go there. I'm just saying that now, because I'm not going into a store, nor am I going to support a store that's making money hand over fist just so that other people are at risk again. Because this isn't about the risk of the mask. This is risk of your constitutional rights. This is the risk of your ability to just breathe fresh air. Fresh air, people. The moment you touch a mask as it is, the mask isn't even worth anything. And if you can smell a fart through pants, I'm sure that you could probably pick it up through the mask. I find it all funny. Are all the masks being worn worth the suicides, worth all of the other people dying, struggling? I don't think so. I don't believe so, and I won't support it. For the small numbers and the few deaths, I find it insulting to humanity to put us in the situation in this bind, and I won't support it. There's a campaign, walk away, and you can choose to. You can choose to. I love you all so very, very much. Stand up for what's right. Don't sit down for what's wrong. You can choose to go against the grain or with it, but I choose what is right, because chances are what is right is usually against what they're trying to push you to do. Always question where the source is. Follow the money trail. Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. The virus hasn't been even isolated. And if you want to do some real research medically, and I don't care if you think you know medical because you went into school, they indoctrinated us into school too. Let's talk about the schooling system. That's an indoctrination system in itself, telling you what they want you to know and believe. The germ theory is a bunch of bullshit. Even Louis Pasteur said, I think I had it wrong. The virus is toxic die-off from cells. If you do have a virus in you, or you supposedly get it, it's probably because they put it in you. And from my understanding, they're sticking something way up the back of your nose, which punctures the lining that goes up to your pituitary gland. That risks your immune system in itself. That's violating you. That's a harm. That's another form of raping you. As far as I'm concerned, I will use that word. My mom would use it. It is essentially absurd to say that, droplets of saliva can carry a virus, but they're going to stick a Q-tip up your nose and puncture the inside of your nose. That's not about the virus. That's about weakening your immune system, crossing the blood-brain barrier. Because again, if you've been drinking regular water that's been fluoridated and poisoned, so your pineal gland and your pituitary are calcified, so your intuitive sense is pretty much dumbed down, and that might be why many people are zombified right now. Take care of your health first. Nobody else is going to do that for you. Somebody else wearing a mask is not going to protect you if you're not already taking care of yourself. That's the fact. Whew. Yeah, it makes me cringe too, all that stuff I hear. All the stuff I'm hearing. Shaking my head. Doctors and nurses coming out and admitting they're not full. Admitting that they're being threatened, that they have to write down CV as the cause of death. There's so much corruption, people. Take back your power. You deserve better than this. That's all I'm saying. And I'm here to fight for you. Because you matter. I know I matter. And I love myself enough, and I love you enough, that I didn't come here to sit back behind the lines and just be complicit or complacent. So, choose your peace. Some are going to say this is a battle, but you know what? if we come together peacefully and we start learning how to support one another and stop buying into the bullshit, then we don't have a battle. There's enough of us who are woken up enough to say, no, I don't agree. I know better. Choose the right side this time, people. We came to get it right this time. We didn't just get born into this life to sit back and let them take control. Their time is coming. Their power is ending. This is about our innate power coming from within, rising back up. It truly is about empowerment. And you get to choose. Are you from the empowered many or the disempowered few? I think the numbers are higher on the empowerment. Choose it and step into it. The mask does not define you. Don't let it confine you. That's my new slogan. The mask does not confine you. Don't let it define you. Drop it. Throw it back. I can think of many better ways than to pollute our earth more than with a bunch of disposable masks made in dirty facilities. Oh yeah, that's going to protect you. And the mask that other people create. I'm sorry. It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. The ones that surgeons use are designed specifically to breathe in, but not out. Like it's filtered, and it's not something you're meant to wear for long periods of time. Totally different circumstances. Don't buy into the hype. They'll even tell you don't wear it. The mask box even says don't wear it, not preventable for a CV. Come on, really? At what point did we start mandating it other than it's about control? It is about control. It's about how many people can we get to go along? And if we know how many people, then we know what we're working against and who we have to try to fit into or manipulate. Because this is all manipulation. This is all psychological warfare. Don't let them control your mind. You're stronger than that. Yeah, right? Where's the biohazard containers? Oh, that's a good one too. Thank you. Critical reasoning, people. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. Most of us might not have the certificates to go with or the diplomas or whatever you want to call them. Because, let's get past that. Most of us are critical thinkers and we do our due diligence and we do our research. My over 10, 15 years of research, I don't have time to explain it all. I just know. And on top of it, I trust myself. I trust myself, and I know in my heart and soul that I'm destined for greatness. Yes, MK Ultra. Oh, if you start doing research, look up O'Brien, MK Ultra, Project Camelot, Project Paperclip, where they took all the German Nazi scientists, brought them here so they could learn from them. They threw them in other countries too. Do the research about the Rothschilds and how deep that one goes. Do the research on big oil. Oh yeah, it goes deep. It goes deep. It's just, it's too crazy. It's too crazy. I know. And I know some of us, yeah, it's just, you got to trust yourself. You got to learn to trust. Oh, even better, it's like the crabs, Cheryl Ann. When they slow boil crabs, the other crabs will try to pull it down into the pot. It's not one will not be allowed to escape because the others know that they're doomed. So they try to bring it in with it. Same with the 100th monkey syndrome, with the bananas and such. An informed mind cannot be enslaved. So true, so true. Project Camelot, MK Ultra. There's many, many more, and I can't remember off the top of my head. There's too many to list. Mary, that's why I'm at Sprouts. Supposedly they are mandating that I can't go in there without a mask. And I got pissed off because I'm done with this shit. They are borderline lawsuit material because if you discriminate against someone for medical reasons, for any reason, that's discrimination just because I'm not wearing a mask. There is no scientific proof showing that I need to wear a mask. The mandate in itself is not a law. It's not. It's an advisement. It's requested. They're saying mandate, but you know what? They're anticipating people aren't smart enough to think outside the box. It's not constitutional. It's against your constitutional rights. You should not feel like you should be bullied and shamed or blamed into wearing a mask. That's part of the PSYOP. That is the MLK Ultra. That is the let's make them feel shitty. Let's make them feel like crap and small because they're not going along with the grain. It is unconstitutional, fully. And we need to get on top of our rights more. We do. Because they've been slowly disintegrating, dissolving them as we go along. People are voluntarily giving them up. Oh, I'll sign up for the first vaccine. It's not tested. Any vaccine, there's so much out there that talks about it goes through monkey brains and they inject you with cancers and heavy metals and all this stuff. Yeah, it's triggering. But I'm doing this video because I want people to know there's more to this. I didn't have any intention of doing this, but I decided I would do this because I'm so over it. It's a violation of HIPAA rights. Yes, Wendy. Thank you. American Disabilities Act. It is so borderline. If somebody wants to tag, like I said, tag a lawyer in the comments. It seems politicized, but believe it or not, it's deeper than politics. Yeah. It's some crazy stuff that's going on right now. Okay, I got to get off this phone and off this live. I love you all so much. Please, please, do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Do it for the children. This is about the children. This is so much more about the children. If they keep us fighting against one another in constant stress, in constant dis-ease, discomfort, disempowerment, the children suffer more. Weren't they talking about taking children out of people's homes if people tested positive? Think about it, people. Do you know that the Child Protective Services, CPS, is more known, especially if you've ever been in them, are more known for trafficking children. Children go missing all the time. And it's time to stop it. Sabbath is filing a lawsuit against Pinellas. Thank you. Wow. Good. Sabatini. Oh, that's right. My girlfriend. Okay, Sylvia. All right. Yeah. In fact, I just saw my girlfriend had videos and pictures with him. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Because this is really about people stepping back into their power. Yeah, but the store policy, no, it's almost as bad as like social media telling you what's fake and what's real news. I'm sorry. That's called censorship. And that's a whole nother bag of worms. And supposedly Trump signed something about online censorship being illegal and not tolerating it. Well, I want my old account back with all of my personal data on it. That's over 13 years of my life that they stole. And I know they got that data on a mainframe somewhere. I may not be able to find my account right now. It may look like it's been deleted, but I guarantee they still got it. Because they're collecting all of our data. Come on, I'm an IT person. I was in the Air Force for over 10 years and work in government contract. I work IT. IT was my first life. Intelligence on top of that. So, hey, 3-letter agencies, I'm just telling you. Don't believe me. Do your own research. Truth is out there if you're willing to face it, if you're willing to look for it. But if you like to go along and with what you're being told and accept that, well, that's part of your path, not mine. So, this can get you heated. I love you all. Spread this far and wide wherever you think it can be service for someone. I just about had it, and I just wanted to, yeah, right? I could go on and on and on, maybe another time. Be well, be blessed, and take care of your own health. You're the master. You're the creator of this human temple, this vessel. Treat your life like a sacred prayer. Treat your body like it's the temple housing the soul, which is a piece of God. I don't care what anybody says. We are all pieces of God. We are all God. And God is having these individual experiences through each and every one of us. And we need to protect that. I love you very much.